Hello everyone, I'm back and I'm here for the wrestling roundup. My name is Davey Wall. So, I've been busy doing other things. Those two other videos that are done, my impressions and me update about the lockdown and stuff, have been, you know, what can I say, over the last couple of months I've been busy trying to get things sorted back to work, because some of you, I go to Daisy, etc., etc., and I can't wait for tonight, Extreme Rules. Now, there's a few matches I'm going to talk about. I can't remember all of them, so bear with me. I haven't got my laptop and brother's using it at the moment. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make my own little mind up on what should happen, what I like to happen at Extreme Rules 2020. Sorry I never done a video over the last couple of months with the other pay-per-views, such as Backlash, WrestleMania, etc. I'm back doing this because I'm in a better frame of mind. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So, what I'm going to do is a few scenarios that I've thought of, relate them, see what you think. And to remember to like, share, and subscribe. Click your bell for notifications for some occasional videos or all videos. Okay? It's been very long. It's been a long time since I've been on the YouTube channel. It's been a long time since I've been on here. I've got a bit of chewy in my mouth, but but the thing is, I'm here to do some of the matches that I can remember off the top of my head, because I haven't got the laptop in front of me, because I would have made scenarios for them. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with the WWE Championship match. I'm not sure on the stipulation. I'll have to watch Raw for that. So, I reckon Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre is going to be an epic match. This is Dolph Ziggler's first WWE Championship match, I think. Because if you remember, he's a multiple-time world champion, but this would be the first time he's ever fought for the WWE Championship. He's never won the WWE Championship. So this is a good little story. They've got a lot of history going back to when Drew returned and he supposedly brought him in, brought him out, brought him back to WWE. They were part of a tag team. They were part of a little group on and off between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. Then they became the Raw Tag Team Champions. Then they split up away from each other. And then what I've noticed over the last couple of months, there's been like tension, and it's like it's Dolph Ziggler's first WWE World Title match. So this is going to be an interesting test for both Drew and Dolph. It's going to be really interesting to see what the outcome of this match will be. And I cannot wait for Extreme Rules, the horror show. But also, it's going to be an interesting scenario. I reckon Drew is going to win that match. He's going to retain the championship. I'd be very surprised because he's the first, we'll say, British / Scottish, pardon me, WWE champion. So we got Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. We've also got the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship matches. I think I'm trying to think who were the feuds. Sorry, I can't remember all the matches, but the match that I find unusual is the Seth Rollins Rey Mysterio match, an eye for an eye match, which I thought, it's a weird concept, but that's the stipulation that they picked. That has nothing to do with Rey Mysterio. It's the backstage thinking, because he's been attacking his eye. He's been trying to do it to other superstars, and Dominic, his son. Dominic has been part of the storyline before. The other bizarre thing, the last time he was involved in a storyline was between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. I think it was at SummerSlam. I'm not too sure. Don't hold me to that. Let me know down in the comment section down below. Yeah, I think it was at SummerSlam, and it was a ladder match for the custody of Dominic. So that's one match he was involved in, and now he's gotten involved over the last couple of months, but especially in this match, I reckon it's going to be like a no disqualification type match. I reckon Murphy will try and get involved. I reckon Dominic will get involved in one stage. But some people said, rumoured, that this will be Rey Mysterio's last match in WWE. He's been in and out of WWE over the last couple of years. We don't know if it's the last match or not, so I'm not too sure on that one. So with that being said, I reckon if he is going to go out, I want Rey Mysterio to win, but I reckon Dolph Ziggler's going to win. But if it's going to be like any other match, I don't know what their attentions are. I don't know. It's going to be a strange one. So there's also the United States Championship match between Apollo Crews and MVP. Now, MVP has been trying to recruit people, the latest being Cedric Alexander. I think that's how you say his name. Apollo Crews as well. But he's been having a big rivalry. They unveiled a new United States Championship. MVP declaring him himself as the United States Champion, even though he isn't. He hasn't even won the championship yet. He's already declaring himself as the United States Champion. But what they've got on the poster for Extreme Rules is the old United States Championship that got debuted back in 2004 on an episode of SmackDown with Stephanie McMahon unveiling the championship. Because in the Invasion angle, they had the WCW United States Championship, and that got defended a lot of times. So they've still got that. So they put their own spin on it, basically. So the WWE United States Championship, it looks a lot different. I like the style, because with the women's championships, don't get me wrong about this, they look great, but they're like a smaller version of the WWE Championship. Same as the Universal title. They just made it a red strap on it and now a blue strap. I'm not like hitting on those colours. It's just a lazy design, if I'm being honest. But it's just like but I'm used to it now, so. But anyway, enough about the belts. So the United States Championship match. I went off subject for a second then. So the United States Championship match between Apollo Crews and MVP. Somehow Bobby Lashley will be involved in that match. Somehow. But I reckon Apollo is going to retain the championship. He needs this because this is the championship I reckon is going to elevate his career. So he's going to come, he's been good for many, many years. I think this is the time where he's got a bit more of a personality behind him now. His promos are getting better and better as the weeks go on. So, I reckon Apollo Crews will retain his championship, but I reckon if Bobby Lashley does get involved, it'll backfire on them. That's the way I'm thinking. So, with that being said, on to one of my favourite matches, I reckon is going to be an interesting match. I reckon they try and capitalise on and they're trying to capitalise on the fact that the Boneyard match was done really well. Bray Wyatt's doing another cinematic type match. The Wyatt Swamp match. But this is what's interests me. It's not been advertised for the Universal Championship. So I reckon they're going with a story here and it will develop over time. So it's interesting to me because it's unusual because you got the Universal Champion. I reckon they're trying to protect both Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, but I reckon they shouldn't. They still should have had this feud, but for the Universal Championship. But as as Bray Wyatt as the champion. So you still could have had Funhouse Bray, then Cult Leader Bray, and then the Fiend. But I reckon that still should have happened. Because a crown jewel, they should never, ever, 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 ever put the championship on. Should never, ever put the championship on Goldberg. They shouldn't. They should have been reverse his or. This is what I reckon should have happened. The Fiend, the Fiend, reverse all of Goldberg's moves, lure him in, take over the match, and then somehow get the Mandible Claw onto him. Because he was portrayed as this unstoppable force in WCW years ago. But his first run in WWE, they didn't treat him like that. Vince was still Vince being Vince, but anyway, poor booking decision. And when he come back, it was a redemption. It was a redemption. They don't want him to think, oh, it's a WWE career because of that. So I understand they put the Universal title on them. He had a couple of months reign, not too long, not too short, just enough to say, hey, I was champion. I had a better run. Back then than I do now. So him him just having that championship on him was pointless if they were just going to drop the belt anyway. But I didn't understand why they let the Fiend lose in that capacity. I didn't get it. It just, they made him. Bray Wyatt was free to create that character, and it could have been so much more. It can still be so much more. You need to salvage this character. I mean, it's crazy how much, they started off well with Finn Balor. Brilliant. He was very dominant, and I thought, okay, if they go around this path, the Fiend being dominant, and then Funhouse Bray, not so much. So he does a twist when he's the Fiend, he's unstoppable, but when he's Funhouse Bray, he isn't. He's not as unstoppable. So it's kind of like his go-to thing, but with the Fiend, it just destroys that character. It destroyed the Fiend. It needs to pick back up. Goldberg's just a part-timer. Yeah, I understand. I understand more with Brock Lesnar. He's legit because he can go. He can go. He can go. But the thing is, he's legit as beep. But with Goldberg, he's had his run. He's had his time. He had his redemption story. It's just the Saudi crowd love nostalgia. So, but at the end of the day, Bray wasn't happy. He I just want to see Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman's going to be an interesting thing because, okay, now I've switched it round to this. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so, as I was saying, I want to see in that match, Braun Strowman slowly walks down on the edge of the bank. So you have where the water is, where the swamp water is, on the edge of the bank, you see the Wyatt family compound. And then you see Progress in his rocking chair, clutching his hands, laughing maniacally. And then choice words between both of them. And then fight presumes. I reckon, this is just what I reckon in my opinion. If they're allowed, only if they're allowed, and if they've made them set themselves, throw them into the water. Kind of what Matt Hardy done with his videos. If you've seen it, go and see it. It's hilarious on his channel. I think it's just Broken Matt Hardy, where he goes into the swimming pool and comes out as his different personas. I reckon they should do that with Bray. Throw him into the water. Cult leader Bray goes, and out comes Firefly Funhouse Bray. I reckon that's the way it should happen. Him begging him for mercy when he's beating him maliciously. And then, when he finally thinks it's all over, he goes to pick him up, he reverses, he disappears. He goes to find him. Next minute, Mandible Claw, it's the Fiend, goes down. I don't know if you win by pinfall or submission. It's just going to be an interesting take on the match. I'm not 100% on the rules, but the people behind it, the likes of Bray Wyatt himself, Triple H, and Jeremy Borash. It's going to be epic because that, to me, I reckon Bray should win. Because that'll give him momentum towards like SummerSlam. For the Universal Championship. So you put the Universal Championship on the line. Because in this match, there's not a Universal title match. So you've seen Funhouse Bray, Cult Leader Bray, and The Fiend. And I reckon it should be for the Universal Championship. And once that is done, then them two can still, then Bron can turn heel. He can have control over Bron. Then revert him to the Black Sheep. He goes from monster among men to the Black Sheep. He's got him in control. That's the way I reckon it should happen going forward. So win at WrestleMania, win at SummerSlam, and then continue his domination over. And if Eric Rowan comes back, then you can restart the Wyatt family, featuring The Fiend and Funhouse Bray. So you've still got all that. And then you can put them as a tag team. Let Bray go to fight the Intercontinental Championship, but under under Bray's control. And then once doing that, they can win the tag team championships, but let Cesaro and Shinsuke develop as a team first before winning those tag titles. That's what I see for Braun Strowman and Bray going forward. I reckon there should be like a draft, or once Randy Orton is beaten who he's beaten, I reckon he should target Randy Orton, bring him over to SmackDown, and try and take control of him. So you can imagine Bray Wyatt, Braun Strowman, and Randy Orton. Because remember, Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan were part of the Wyatt family. They were part of the Wyatt family, so they are official members. Because Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee, is in AEW. So you can't exactly have the originals, because he's gone. He's doing what he's doing in AEW. And so that's my thing for Extreme Rules. I would touch on other matches. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. If I do another video, I will. Okay? So, all's got to say, guys, I'm back now. I'm in a good frame of mind. And also, I have lost some weight. So, I've lost about 3 pounds in weight altogether. So, thank you for being so patient. Hopefully these will reoccur as the months go on. So, I'm glad to be back doing the wrestling roundup. I'm grateful for your patience. For whoever watches it, for whatever reason. I'll remind you again to like, share, subscribe. Go to your settings for your notifications for some and regular videos and all videos, all that good stuff. and tell me what you think about this channel. Be honest, and I will see you very soon.